Warning: the following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on the show are reflective of AJ Orsini and his guests exclusively. But seriously, guys, the show's called Uncensored. If you got a problem with bad language, I really don't give a shit.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini.
How the hell is everybody out there? This is your boy, this is your main man, AJ Orsini, your host of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and I am back. Don't call it a comeback. I have been here literally for years. I am back in the house of O. The family of O is back in New York. We've been gone, count them, 7 straight effing days in the sunshine state of Florida. Orlando is the town in which we hung up our hat. What a week for the Orsini family, let me tell you. It was a nice little getaway. I got a little tanner than usual in all the weirdest of spots because I'm a pretty big guy, but I enjoy wearing the aquatic shirt. So, and I have my shorts, and I have the aquatic shirt. So, from like mid bicep to my fingertips, I am a bronze god. But if you remove said aqua shirt here, I am about as beige as an old Cadillac from back in the 70s. Here, this is a really sad and depressing thing. My face shows it. I am about as negro as I've been in my entire life here. And my son also reflects it. My son also wears an aqua shirt, and he has got a multicolored bicep. It is looking odd. But we are back here in the House of O. I would like to start off by apologizing for being one night too late here. This will be airing Thursday night. I will be airing it literally as soon as possible. So I hope the lateness doesn't bother anybody. I'll be sharing the shit out of it Friday morning anyway. The family is returning here to Florida, but Mrs. O is back on a plane tomorrow morning. Actually, as about as early as 5 in the morning, she'll be back on a plane to Puerto Rico. She'll be dealing with some family issues over there. So, just like we used to say back in the day, Daddy has got free crib, baby. Actually, not free crib. I still have a 3-year-old here running around driving me nuts. But, yeah. So she just took a plane today. And literally we'll be back on a plane tomorrow. And then we'll be back here Monday. You know, fingers crossed, depending on the situation. So the Orsini family was together fully. And now we will be apart yet again. And Daddy is always sad when Mom is not around. I love my wife very, very much. I love having her around, and I'm going to miss her. So I'm squeezing this episode in. I still have some plans for some upcoming episodes here. I want to apologize again for pushing this one back. But the last day of vacation was Wednesday, the day of the show. And to be fair, I knew coming up that was going to be the last day and that we were going to be returning early Thursday morning. I had said on the previous episode that I was going to probably do something with some extra content just to have something play and not miss a week. But I really felt like that was kind of whack, to be honest with you. I wanted to do something fresh. Whatever I talked about on the other audio clips was not going to encompass all the cool shit that went down this weekend. So I wasn't going to be, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to put an episode out that I knew was just going to be yuck and you guys weren't really going to be too into it. Considering that it wouldn't be on anything recent and it wouldn't be talking about anything pertinent to right now. So I held off a day. We flew in this morning. I am back in the House of O, and I am back in front of the equipment to give you guys 60 minutes or 70 minutes, which is usually the timetable here on these shows of Orsini goodness. Now, I do have a lot of things that I want to talk about. Obviously, this was Summerslam weekend. I did manage to see Summerslam. We snuck that in. I got to see Takeover as well. We're going to be talking about those two shows where I saw Raw. I saw Smackdown. I am completely 100% up to date. And there was a ton to get to on all fronts. But I want to take this time to thank all of you because in spite of the fact that I was on vacation, Pretty much since October. I've been doing this show since October. This is episode 49. I should have said that 4 minutes ago, but yeah, it's episode 49. And I've been doing this podcast since October pretty consistently, week by week. I'm ahead of the game as far as numerically. I do the roundtables as episodes, and I air them the day of. So whenever I do a roundtable episode, that's pretty much 2 episodes in the same week. And I've done like 3 or 4 of them, so that's throwing the numbers off. But for the most part, I've done 49 episodes in a row pretty much since October. And since the conception of this show, it's been a pretty high priority for me. I've been investing a lot of my time, a lot of my effort in trying to make this show as successful as possible. I've had a lot of friends and family help me out in that endeavor. I have had a lot of fans help me out in that endeavor. And I can't possibly be any more appreciative of you guys for that. But I have to be extra appreciative this week because I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm always honest with you here at Orsini's Uncensored Mind. I'm always honest with you, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I was not thinking about this show pretty much all week. A few things here and there. I know you guys on the Facebook page saw that I did something at Legoland. I posted this picture up. I put my website up on... I made my website in Legos at Legoland, like for display. And like for people to check it out. And I took a picture. Yeah, I did little things here and there. I wore my official Orsini's Uncensored Mind t-shirt back from Florida through the airport. You guys should and can do the same by going to prowrestling.com/ajoursinni and get yourself a snazzy little Orsini's Uncensored Mind t-shirt. And I did that on the way back. So with the exception of maybe like those 2 things and a couple of shared things here and there, I have put almost no thought into this show over the course of the last week. Thought about it pretty heavily today because I knew I wanted to do a real true blue episode today. So I'll put a lot of thought of it in today. But normally, I usually spend like every day thinking about this show. How I can get it to different people, how I can get it to different audiences, not just here in the States but overseas. I am proud to say that I have been downloaded in 14 different countries. I've been trying really hard and efforting really hard to get the source out here, get the word out on the streets about this show and get people talking and trying to come up with different topics and polls and all these different things that I do to try to generate conversation. I've been saying it since episode 1. Conversation is huge for this show. I love generating conversation. It doesn't necessarily have to be about me or about the show. I just love generating conversation. I've had the privilege of having knockdown dragouts and pretty civil debates all the way around on the social media stuff. I haven't had really too many problems because I block the problems. It's very easy for me to control the tempo of the conversation. You can have a conversation with me. I've had conversations with people where they were just flat out cursing me out, and I would curse them out and we go back and forth, and that's fine. But there are a few who go a little too far, and you guys, you know who you are because you've been blocked from the show. So, of course, you all know who you are at this point. But I'm blessed to have had conversations with people, and I just love generating conversation with this show. Having said that, I've generated almost zilch in the last 7 days because the last 7 days have been dedicated to my family. And I know that sounds corny and cliche, but the bottom line is that my family is very important to me. I love my son. I love my wife very, very much. They're the backbone of literally everything that I do. And that's just not me being cute or coy about it. It literally is. Every job that I have now, which is multiple ones, and me going back to school, literally everything that I do is generated by the fact that these 2 people are in my life. So when it comes to situations like this, I really wanted to give them my undivided attention. I think it's unfair of me for a full year to be pulled in so many directions and then on vacation to still have that habit. You know, every day I'm being pulled toward the show. I'm being pulled toward my schooling, my job. I have to be a student. I have to be a host. I have to be a trainer. I have to be a husband. I have to be a father. I wear many hats. So for the last 7 days, I've dedicated pretty much all of my time and effort and attention to my family. That's why I made the decision to push it back 1 day, and I don't regret it at all whatsoever. I love doing the show. I love talking to you guys. I love communicating all the way around with all of my fans and friends and family. But the last 7 days, we're pretty much for Mrs. O and for Little O. And we don't do this very often. As a matter of fact, we were talking about it on vacation. We haven't been on a vacation in 2 years. So the last time we were on vacation, my son was just, it was the summer after he turned 1, which is 2 years ago. So he was like, 18 months at the time. It wasn't really much we could do with him at that time. He was like a little baby. This time around, not so much. He's a big kid, 38 inches tall. We found that shit out going on all these fucking rides, because for the most part, it's funny because for the most part, you've got to be either 6 years old or 42 inches. Or you could be 33 years old as a minimum, 38 inches, but you have to be with an adult or whatever the case may be. So I don't want to sit here and talk about my vacation for 60 fucking minutes. That's fucking boring. But to give you some few notes of what took place with this kid, what was it? It was Legoland. First, we did a resort. We did 2 hotels. The reason for that is because timing-wise, one was a gift, but we couldn't get it at the same time that we were going to be there. So we did a joint thing where we were at one hotel that had a water park to it, and then we had another hotel which was a heavenly place. It was like the greatest hotel room I've ever been in my entire life, and it was such a great hotel room. When I came back to my actual apartment in New York, I felt bad about myself. It's like I'm not achieving what I want to achieve in life because I don't live in that hotel room. But we did the water park hotel for 2 days, and we did Legoland in Florida. And Legoland is awesome. It's a great place. First of all, lazy river with Lego pieces in the water. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Okay. Then you go to the wave pool. Guess what you find? That's right. Lego pieces and you're fucking building, and there's people literally building. I saw people. There was the buildable rafts, all kinds of shit going on. Legoland was awesome. It was the shit. They had 4D shows that were great. Reminded me a lot of Universal Studios. I wanted to go to Universal Studios, but he's not tall enough. My son's not tall enough for a lot of the stuff in Universal Studios. But Legoland really helped and kicked in and all that stuff. Another thing that we did was Discovery Cove, which is basically swimming with fishes and stingrays and sharks and dolphins and shit like that. I don't do sea creatures, not huge, on being in water with large fucking animals. Not my thing. That's a Mrs. O thing. And Discovery Cove originally was that was Mrs. O's trip. That was her thing. But I think all 3 of us really had a hell of a good time. She was asking me on the way over here, which was the highlight of the trip. It was probably Discovery Cove, because it was pretty cool. I kind of overcame my fear a little bit. See, because what happened is I knew going into this that this is a place that has fish and other animals and sea creatures and sea life in the water. So I kind of got the idea before I got there, okay, this was going to happen. Wrap your mind around this. You got to man up. You got to do this for your wife because she really wants to do this. When we got there, I found out there were other areas besides the sea creature area. They had this beautiful lazy river, no animals, no fish. It's literally it was an actual river that you're in, and it just circles around, and it's really dope. And they have these large lagoons and pools and otter cages. It was nice. It had a little bit of everything for everybody. But the fish part is where I really I pat myself on the back. I overcame, if you really want to be honest about it. But I do have to tell one quick story. So I was under the impression that because there's dolphins, you can pet dolphins or swim with dolphins or whatever, some shit. But that's an extra package. And then there's sharks, and that's an extra package. And in order to do those things, you have to be at least 6 years old and up to do it. And my son's 3. So my wife said, I don't want to pay for something extra. And I only end up doing it by myself. That's whack, yada, yada, yada. So we'll just do the regular shit they have there. And when I looked at the map, all I saw was fish. It was like snorkeling. You snorkel. You see fish under the water or whatever. So I said to myself, I'm going to be there with a bunch of fucking fish and all this stuff's going to be floating around me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make do with this, right? So you go in, and Discovery Cove gives you fucking everything, bro. When you go to Discovery Cove, it's expensive, but if you pay for it flat out, you get food, beverage, adult beverage, fucking towels, snorkels, wetsuit. You fucking name it, life jackets, whatever the fuck. They have all that shit there for you. They give it to you. You don't have to come with shit. You don't have to bring nothing. You just fucking show up and they feed you when they fucking get you drunk, and it's awesome. You could be in the water with your shit. I was drinking Heineken in like fucking neck deep in water. It was great. It was awesome. So I get in the pool, or not the pool. Well, technically I guess kind of a pool, but it's got like fish and shit, and I can see the fish from the fucking shore. So I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to get into this fucking water, right? And I got my son, and that was kind of a cop-out because I had my son, right? So I'm trying to use my son as motivation to be a grown man and get into this water because my wife is like a kid in a fucking candy store. She wants to see everything, all right? So we're moving, and we're going into the water. Of course, this water is colder than all the other ones because it has the sea creatures in it. So I got my son, I'm gripping him real fucking tight. I get into the fucking water, bro, and like I said, I have a fear of this shit, right? So I start noticing that the bottom is not all sand. There's like these dark spots. So I'm like, what are these dark spots? And my wife's like, let me see. And she starts stepping on it. It's rocks, coral, it's a reef type shit. So I'm like, all right, so I'm stepping on rocks. The rocks actually helped because it got me higher up out of the water. It's kind of cheating, but whatever. So I start walking and navigating through the fucking water, and one of the air quotes rocks fucking starts moving. So I take a moment and say to myself, what the fuck is that? So I looked at my wife and said, what the fuck is that? It moved. Why did it move? The rocks don't move. Rocks don't swim. I've seen enough Discovery Channel to know that rocks don't float like that. What is happening there? So she takes her snorkel mask. She looks in the water. It's a stingray. Not any average regular stingray, but this fucker was like 30 fucking feet. This was like a satellite dish fucking stingray. Now, I have a fear of being in the water with fish. Regular, average, run-of-the-mill, Chinese restaurant fish. There is a 30-foot stingray in the fucking water. So, at that point, my asshole tightened up real fucking good. Okay? Because I was trying really hard not to actually shit myself. Right? So there's a stingray. Now, I saw it fucking move. I knew that it fucking moved. But at the point that I am having this discussion with my wife, the stingray is extremely stationary. It's just sitting there, right? So my wife decides I'm going to go in front of it because next to the stingray is a rock. These two things are blocking our way. I'm trying to back up to go back to shore, but she wants to go forward because that's where all the fish is. So she walks past the stingray and the rock, easy peasy. Now, my wife's already swam with stingrays, so she's used to that shit. So she walks by. She goes, you should follow me between here. You'll be fine. I'm not following you in there because that's a 30-foot stingray. And I'm not getting Steve Irwin right now. I just fucking got here. I'm on vacation. I'm not trying to get barbed in the chest. Okay? So at first I'm like, no. But then she took the trip like a couple of times. Like she said, okay, I'll come back. And then she went, she snorkeled. She came back, started talking to me. She went back. She did it like twice. That stingray never fucking moved. So I got my son, and I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. My son and I have agreed we're going to do this. Because my son was also cautioning. He was also very cautionated right there. He was like, okay, well, we're going to go. So I actually work up the courage to do this, to take that step. And as soon, I mean, it was almost like, and I don't believe in God and the Lord, but I'm going to tell you something, if he existed, he was ready. Because as soon as I took a step toward that stingray, a secondary stingray, smaller, but a secondary stingray went right past me and hit me on my knees, both of my knees with his fin. And I crapped myself. Not physically, not metaphorically. I dropped. My confidence was gone. My asshole was still puckered to death. It was clenched. Nothing getting in there. Clenched butthole, nice and tight. I was trying really hard not to shit myself. But when it touched me, I'm going to tell you right now, I was out. It, like the words, this is my nightmare, literally squeezed out. I was just like, okay, I can't do this. So I got out. Okay. Now my son also did not want to stick around, which made my wife kind of sad because she doesn't want to be in there by herself. So what happened was I wasn't ready to give up. Problem is at this point, I'm kind of used to the fish. The stingrays are bothering me. So I go to a different section of the pool area or like the water area or whatever. And this water's clear, man. You can see right to the bottom. You can see everything. So I noticed there's this rocky area where my wife just happened to be snorkeling, seeing fish, that looked really kind of enclosed. So worst case, if a stingray came near us, I could see it, I'll back up. So my son and I went over there. It ended up being a really cool spot. Believe it or not, kind of got used to the stingrays because they really weren't fucking with anybody. As a matter of fact, whenever you kind of walked toward them, they always tried to swim away. So I kind of got myself together. But initially, oh my God, my asshole was taut. It was puckered up. I can't. If I could draw you a picture of what my asshole looked like, just imagine a Cheerio, right? You take a Cheerio and you make like an OK sign over the Cheerio. And then you, right when that Cheerio, you get that Cheerio in a nice tight fit. Okay, now break it, like crush it into your, that's how tight my asshole was right there. A very taut, tight little asshole. I was trying really hard not to shit myself. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah. So we did Discovery Cove. SeaWorld and Aquatica. SeaWorld was dope, of course. Some nice shows there. Aquatica is a water park that is awesome. They're rapids. They have a lazy river and a rapid. And if you've never been to a park that has both, it's exactly how it sounds. Lazy river, nice and slow, on a raft, chilling. Rapid, no rafts. Just you, baby, in a current, dragging you fast as fuck in a river. It's dope. It's a lot of fun. So that was the vacation. I actually just spent 20 minutes on that. That's not bad. I thought I was going to do a lot worse. But that was pretty much the vacation, man. Chilling, eating, getting fat, overdoing it. Ponderosa Steakhouse. Love you. I go there every time I go to Orlando. Every time Orsini heads to Orlando, you can catch his ass at the Ponderosa. Fun Stop America. Big shout out to you for giving my son all these fucking toys that I had to pack in a fucking bag. Yeah, speaking of which, so Fun Stop America is basically just like a miniature, it's not even that big, a miniature amusement park with an indoor gaming area, arcade, pretty much like all the other ones. You play the games, you get tickets, you win a prize. I wasn't around. Like, I helped get tickets. I wasn't around for the prize selection, okay? And we went like the last day, like before we flew back yesterday. And they got like an inflatable hammer, a little tennis ball thing. Like, we had a lot of tickets. Like, we went in. Fading Frenzy was my game. We were just going off, okay? So we were just getting a bunch of tickets, and I wasn't there. So we come back, and my wife and my son have this little it's a police toy set. Handcuffs and badges and just all the stuff you can think about when it comes to police toys. And one of which was a dart gun. It's like one of those classic old school plunger pieces with a black plastic gun. So they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring we got all these neat toys. I have to figure out how we're gonna pack them in. And I was like, Steph, you do realize you just purchased a black plastic gun, right? Yeah, as a police, her father's retired police, so she doesn't really think much of it. So you want to go through TSA with a black plastic gun? Now, I just thought that was the dumbest thing ever of all time until I got to the airport. And then they were looking at me like I was fucking stupid. I was like, I don't know if I want to test the x-ray machine with a plastic fucking gun. And they were just like, whatever, dude, plastic gun, go on through. And I was like, wow. They were so nonchalant about it. They didn't even give a fuck. They were just like, well, plastic gun, thanks for giving us the heads up. Enjoy the flight. I was like, whoa, that's not good. I know I've seen a few movies with plastic guns, man. I'm just saying, I felt a little unsafe after that shit. It's like, man, if I can get this shit on board, forget it. I mean, trust me, I appreciated the non-hassle. I didn't get hassled for nothing this entire trip, going or coming. The only thing that was twisty or turny about this trip was they separated us. We bought tickets online, and they didn't give us the same seats together. We were like in the same row. Like the first trip going from New York to Orlando, we're in the same row, 36. But I was A, she was B, and then my son was E. So we were trying to figure that shit out. And the lady, thankfully, the lady who was supposed to be in C gave me the seat so I could be with my family. She wasn't happy about it, but she did it. It's like we put her in this spot where like she doesn't want to give me the seat, but can I really say no when they're like an asshole on this plane for the next 2.5 hours? And the answer is yes, you would have been an asshole, and I'm glad you did what you had to do because I wasn't fucking moving anyway. I stood up like I was going to do something. I'm like, oh, I know it's your seat, but, I totally played it off. But she bit. She took her ass to wherever I was supposed to be seated at. And then coming back, we tried to check in, and we said, fuck that. We're not going through that shit again because that was heart-wrenching. So we called ahead of time and got our shits figured out. So we were sitting together coming back, man. I was like, nah, we can't go through this shit again. And I saw Infinity War going to Orlando, and I saw Rampage coming back. Both very good films. I'm not going to review them. They're just very good films. Obviously, Infinity War, we've talked about a billion times here. Rampage was a surprise to me. That's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the big gorilla, the big flying wolf, and the big-ass alligator. I actually thought it was pretty entertaining. I liked it. I'm getting sick of that Negan guy, though. Is that the only character he can play? He played Negan in this entire film. I think Negan is the only character he can play. Every time I see this guy, he's playing the same character over and over and over. I forgot what his name is. Jeffrey something. I'm not sure. Anywho, so we were on vacation. That's all the stuff that went down as far as us go. Taut asshole and all. But a lot of wrestling stuff went down. See, I live in Brooklyn, but I went to Orlando. And WWE, let's start actually with NXT. NXT's based in Orlando, but they were in Brooklyn. I actually want to talk about TakeOver just real quick because I didn't get to do a prediction show for TakeOver. If you notice, I really don't do prediction shows for it. I don't really do too many shows for NXT because I treat NXT the way that it is to be treated, and it's a developmental. That's the way that it's supposed to be set up. I get it. The wrestling there is awesome. I get it. You're not going to find a disagreement out of me. All right, I get it. NXT is awesome. Whenever I watch NXT, I'm 100% entertained. But it ain't Raw. It ain't Smackdown. It's a developmental. You can say that it's better till you're blue in the face. You can say it up and down. NXT is better than the main roster. I hear it every day. I couldn't disagree with you more. But it's still a fun show, and I still get my kicks out of it. Just real quick, on the undercard, the stuff that didn't really make the show, Bianca Belair defeated Deonna Purrazzo. Super glad for both of those young ladies. Both super talented. Glad they got a chance to get in front of that audience and do some work. Pete Dunne retained his WWE United Kingdom Championship against Zach Gibson. I hear nothing but good things about Zach Gibson. I've gotten a chance to see some of his stuff. He's dope. I have a problem with Pete Dunne in the UK Championship. How long has this fucking guy been the UK champion? How long can you really be the champion of a division that doesn't exist? It's coming now. The NXT UK thing, it's coming now, but he's been champion the entire time. By the time this thing really gets cooking, he's going to be like a 600-day champion. He's been champion for 8 million years, and I get it, he's dope, but oof. Ugh, there's not a whole lot going on. I see a lot of people giving Brock Lesnar shit for his championship. I don't see anybody giving Pete Dunne shit for his. And I know he defends it on house shows and UK tours and all that other stuff, but come on. We don't really get to see too much of Pete Dunne. At first, I thought it was like, they were keeping Pete like an ace in the hole, kind of like an extra card up the sleeve. He's uber talented, so we could just plug him in anywhere and it would be dope. But now, I don't know. There's got to be a reason they keep him off TV as much as they do. I don't know. We need to see more of Pete Dunne. That leads us to our 5-card matchup here for NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4. They opened up with the NXT Tag Team Championship, the Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong defending their tag titles against Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate. Obviously, Undisputed Era retains. In a dope match. It was a lot of fun. But listen, the whole time I'm watching this match, I was like, this is the most indie-rific match I have literally ever seen on WWE television. That was the epitome. That whole move, spot format. I mean, I felt like I was watching a Ring of Honor match. It was just full on. They were just going. High energy, no breaks, move. And I just thought, I liked it for what it was. It was fast-paced. We got much... As the night wore on, the storytelling got better and better and better. So I guess for what it was perfect. It's not the first time we've opened up with the Undisputed Era. They're hot right now. Hot right now. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. That's got to be a problem, right? I mean, Kyle and Roderick working this well together, it's not going to look good for when Kyle and Bobby come back, man. But boy, when Bobby comes back, this is going to cause some issues because this team is rocking right now, Kyle and Roderick. And not for nothing, my wife, I had never seen Mustache Mountain before, Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. Thoroughly impressed. She liked both of them. But the MVP in that matchup to Mrs. O, Kyle O'Reilly. She's never really gotten a chance to see much of Kyle O'Reilly either. And big fan of Kyle O'Reilly. I stunned me, but she just likes the way this kid sells. Loves it. So it was indie-rific. It was like I said it 17 times. Like, this is just ridiculous. It's like move. I get it. The next matchup was the complete opposite. Complete opposite of whatever that care. You know, if the Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain was a car crash, Velveteen Dream and EC3 was what a bike ride through the woods here. Like this was just a comforting. This was just a slow, methodical, psychological wrestling match. Just two guys loaded with charisma, yet limited by physical ability, just going and going. This match was good for what it was. I know I've said that twice already, but, you know, if the shoe fits. Velveteen Dream's awesome. My thing with Velveteen Dream, though, with the right opponent, this guy is a home run. When he's got the right guy in front of him, he is money. Apparently not with everybody. EC3, I feel like, is the same. You know, you put EC3 in there with the right guy, and EC3 could be money, man. Both of these guys. I've had the privilege of working with EC3 over at House of Glory, so he's a good dude. But both of these guys are in that category. With the right opponent, man, they are ridiculous. With the wrong one, with the wrong opponent, it's hit or miss. And this was a miss for me. Velveteen Dream and EC3. I love the psychology behind everything, but the match itself, you know, it's one of those things where the promos were better than the match. The next match was the opposite. The match was actually better than the promos. Ricochet wins the NXT North American Championship, defeating Adam Cole in a barn burner here. Not like many of their other matches. Obviously, Ricochet and Adam Cole, long time history, long time rivals, especially over at PWG. They've done this match 1,000 times, but this was different. It felt different. They told a much different story. I love the fact that Ricochet has become much more of a wrestler than just the gymnastics and the choreography. He still gets his spots in. There are still those moments where you got to feed the kid so the match looks good. It's not a Ricochet match unless he does A, B, and C. But he's really found a way to cut back whilst still giving you so much in the ring. And that's really key. For a lot of guys who are known as spotty guys in gymnastics, when you get to the WWE, you got to pick your spots, and you really got to work that out. Neville was the master. Neville has 1,000 moves, but he only gave you 3, and that's all you needed from him. He can still perform. The rest of it is movement and selling and facials. That's what real wrestling is. That's why when people say, oh, 5 moves of doom, 5 is a lot of fucking moves. It's a lot of fucking moves. If I had my pick for heavyweight champion, he'd only have 3 moves with me. The rest of it is working. It's timing. It's selling. That's what wrestlers do. It's what wrestling is. You don't need more than 5. And Ricochet's come in as a guy who's uber athletic. I don't know, what are they calling him? The human cheat code. Calling him the human cheat code on NXT Takeover. And I'm glad that he's come in and he's adjusted. He's seemingly adjusted well, and they're putting the house on this guy right now. See what's up. I thought the decision of this matchup, Ricochet going over Adam Cole, a little premature, getting the belt off of Adam Cole. I thought right when that match was over, I said, shit, I guess I'll be seeing him on Raw or SmackDown. No call-ups on Raw and SmackDown. I'm going to get to that later. That stunned me, but we're going to get to that later. Next matchup, the NXT Women's Championship on the line. Kairi Sane defeated Shayna Baszler. Definitely, I said Baszler? Baszler? Was that Kim Basinger? Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. This was definitely Shayna's best match, literally ever, in NXT. She's got nice chemistry with Kairi Sane. She doesn't have nice chemistry with everybody. That style does not work with everybody, but with Kairi, it works. Because I think Kairi likes to work that style as well. She can get very physical. She's not afraid to get hit. And as a matter of fact, she welcomes it. And when you have two women in the ring who just want to beat the shit out of each other, that usually comes out to a classic. I don't know if you would consider this one a classic, but at the same time, it was a really good one. Definitely better than the ones that we've seen from Shayna Baszler since she's been champion. The Ember Moon match, not good. She did one with Dakota Kai that was okay, but this is definitely the best one. And if we can get more matches like this from Shayna, she's going to go really far. And Kairi Sane, a lot of backlash from, non-wrestling fans, of course. All these WWE fans going on the internet. And basically, another Japanese woman as champion. That Asuka fatigue. That's what I was worried about when they signed her. They signed her late. I called it when they signed her. I said, well, I hope they take their time putting the belt on her because, I remember when she got signed, a lot of people were making the question, should she be the one to unseat Asuka? Because they have a history together. They know each other. But to have the belt go from one Japanese woman to the next, I didn't know if they were going to do that. You know how long it took to get a Japanese champion in general, back to back? I didn't think that was going to happen. But it ended up being rather close to each other. Now we have Kairi Sane as the NXT Women's Champion. And I'm all excited about that. I want to see what happens from here. I think Kairi is a better fit as far as having matches with the other ladies. I think Shayna's a particular type. And I think she was good as champion. But, she doesn't have that style that meshes well with everyone just yet. They're still fine-tuning her skills out. And we'll see where she goes from here. And now on our main event for TakeOver here, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano one more time. And by God, listen to me, folks, when I say this. I love both of these guys. I do. I love both of these guys. I'm done seeing them fight each other. The intensity that they have been able to hold, it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. Even people who hate each other to the fucking core don't hate each other that intently for that fucking long. You can have a hatred for someone for the rest of your life, but you'll never hate them that strong for that long. It's too long, okay? Tommaso Ciampa, they've been saying recently, I feel like I've been doing this forever. They did that for the Daniel Bryan Miz matchup for SummerSlam, which we will get to. But Gargano and Ciampa have literally been fighting forever. Forever. Since the beginning of time. Since the dawn of time, when the Big Bang took place and sent mass shooting across the universe, all over the galaxies and all these planets, stars, and all these things were created on planet Earth while it was still a ball of lava and makeshifting itself to water and plantation and ozone was formed. Once that ozone was formed and life began on this planet, Gargano and Ciampa were already 20 minutes in. These fuckers have been fighting for forever. And it wasn't a bad match. The last man standing match they had here, 33 minutes, 42 seconds is the official time. It's not that they're bad at what they do. They're not bad. The matches are great. For the most part, they're great. I just can't see it all the time. This isn't the old days where you could, Flair and Steamboat fought each other 10,000 times. I only saw it 3 times. So, in the age of the internet, in the age of nothing can be secret, everything is out, whether you like it or not, to have guys just continuously over and over and over and over and over And it's not like they're doing it for any particular reason other than the fact that they dislike each other. The only difference between this situation and before is that this was for the NXT Championship, which they still haven't explained the Aleister Black situation. This was supposed to be a triple threat with Aleister Black in there. He was attacked. I never got a chance to talk about it on the show because I've just been having guest after guest after guest after guest. I never really had a chance. But, yeah, so Aleister Black was attacked at a show, one of the Full Sail shows, which took him out of the main event, leaving Gargano and Ciampa, and William Regal made the last man standing stipulation to just kind of up the ante and put an end to this, hopefully. And I really do hope that this is the end. Not because I dislike the match, but because I love both of these guys. In Tommaso, you have a strong heel. You can make a great baby face right now with Tommaso. And the other way around, Johnny is a great baby face. You can make a great heel out of somebody right now. Splitting those two guys off. To me, it's overkill having your two top draws in the same match. Split them up. Instead of one mega match, you can guarantee yourself two super great matches on your card every freaking time. Split them up. Split them up. Let's get some programs going. Please. I'm done. Tommaso won the feud. You know, Gargano won his wars, but Gargano won his battles. But Ciampa has won the war. He's the NXT champion. He gets the last laugh. He won the last two matches. It's done. It's over. Let's move on. Let's kick it into gear. I guess the next takeover would be what? The Royal Rumble, right? So what would that be? In Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona is where we're headed. And then the next takeover would I think the NXT takeover is going to be in Brooklyn again, right? For WrestleMania. Because WrestleMania is going to be in Jersey, here, where I'm at. Well, near New York, where I'm at. I'm not in Jersey. Fuck Jersey. I'm joking. But no, I'm not in Jersey. SummerSlam 2018. I'm going to talk my way right out of that one. SummerSlam 2018 had a shitload of matches. Andrade Cien Almas, Zelina Vega, Lana Rusev mixed tag, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak in the B Team match. I did not see. It was on the pre-show. I did not have time to see the pre-show. Unfortunately, I was busy. Again, I'm on vacation. But Almas and Vega did defeat Lana and Rusev. Cedric retained his championship against Drew Gulak. For those of you who thought the 6-year-old tweet would fuck this guy over, think again. I told people nothing was going to happen. It's a 6-year-old tweet. No one gives a fuck. He issued an apology because, I guess, to cool the situation down. No one gives a shit. This is why I was making the joke during the roundtable. People thought I was trying to be funny or insensitive. No, I don't give a shit. No one gives a shit. He made a joke to somebody. You don't find it funny. Okay, then you don't find it funny. There's no fucking law that states he can't say that. There's nothing. Now, he works for a very PG company, and there might have been consequences, maybe something behind the scenes. I don't know. But for him, he's the most talented guy on 205 Live. To lose the championship because of a 6-year-old tweet is just the dumbest fucking thing I can possibly think of, which is why I was pretty sure not even WWE was that dumb. And they're not. He retains the championship. He will continue on as champion, as he should. The other match, the B-Team match, defeated and retained their championship by defeating the Revival in Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. I think that match would have been dope. I didn't get a chance to see it. But the opener for SummerSlam, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Intercontinental Championship matchup. And I got to say, this is match 1. They had me at match 1. I was hooked. Now, here's the deal. I was saying earlier in my NXT discussion that the Undisputed Era and Mustache Mountain had a very quote-unquote indie-rific matchup. Non-stop action, spot, move. And all I could think about was the Indies because, of course, these 4 guys are very infamous and synonymous with the Indies. Having said that, Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, I also felt had a very indie-rific matchup. This was another one where it was just move. Now, here's a slight difference. there is a history here. Now, I know Undisputed Era and Mustache Mountain, they've got their history. They traded the belts, yada, yada, yada. But there's no real history between the four of them other than recent skirmishes. Rollins and Ziggler's been doing this for forever. And I think there was a little bit of a chip on their shoulder considering the last fucking time these guys were in the ring together. Because the last time they were in the ring together on pay-per-view, they were not the opening match. They were the main event. And it did not go well. So, I think they had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I think they came in a little fired up. The Dean Ambrose inclusion did freshen this up a little bit. Drew McIntyre had some nice interaction. All around great. The inverted superplex brought me to fucking orgasm when I saw it. If you haven't seen the match yet, Seth Rollins normally does this old Ring of Honor spot he used to do where it's a superplex, and upon bumping, he rolls back, continues the momentum, picks him up off the ground. So it's superplex, immediately rolls over, picks him up off the ground, Falcon's Arrow, which is a flat back, almost like a release suplex to the ground while you sit out, right? And that's a usual move that he's brought back into the arsenal recently. Well, at SummerSlam, he inverted that motherfucker, all right? Inverted superplex with a roll through. I forgot what the name of that move was, that little spinning reverse DDT. I think it was a Finn Balor move, wasn't it? I don't remember. All I know is that shit was dope. And I achieved the ultimate ecstasy in my pants when I saw that shit. Because first of all, yes, it's a dope move for Seth Rollins to be doing. But the balls on Ziggler to hear that spot called and go, yeah, I'm with that. Let's do this. He took a reverse. He basically moonsaulted, right? He took a moonsault off the top rope to the middle of the ring, then rolled up in almost like a dragon sleeper just to be spun and dropped in the back of his head. That took guts. The only problem I had with this match was that was my favorite part of the match, the inverted superplex, but it was also the worst part because when my wife and I were watching it together, and I came when I saw that move, but my wife had a different approach. While she was impressed by the move, when Ziggler kicked out, she was like, I don't know why he kicked out. And honestly, I felt myself be reminded of something. And I was almost taken out of this match because that was a really big spot. And then they just continued on with regular shit. And it reminded me of the Omega Okada match, the first one, where Omega, because everyone kept telling me this is like the greatest match that's ever happened. And I watched it, and I remember I think it was like a 45, 50-minute match. And like 30 minutes in, Omega hits a top rope, what's that, like a tigerplex, like from the top rope. It's like, not tiger, I think it's like a dragon setup. And he just fucking drills him from the top. And they wrestled for like 15 more minutes. And I said, that's ridiculous. I felt the same way here. I like this match a lot. But that was a really, really big move. And for it to just be a kick out and then eventually like, how does the curb stomp beat you, but that didn't? Like, I understand there was more things done. It's not as easy or simple as saying, okay, that's it. But, man, that was such a dope move. That should have been it. I know that you have to win with the curb stomp, but, oh, my God. That move was so beautiful. That should have been it. Oh, man. The next matchup, SmackDown Tag Team Championship, The New Day defeated the Bludgeon Brothers by DQ. This match was okay. Not nearly as good as the match they had on SmackDown right after. That match was amazing. This match, not so much. Very underwhelming. Not as entertaining. Even for the New Day. I'm big on the New Day. I'm coming around on the Bludgeon Brothers. They're starting to hit their groove. I'm coming around on them. They're getting really physical. I like it. Speaking of not so physical, Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank contract. This is one of, let me see, let me count them up there. 1, 2, three, essentially, if you think about it. About 3 squash matches on this card. Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. Now, as soon as I saw this match, I went immediately to social media because I was like, oh, here it comes. And sure enough, words like burial or disrespect, or I think somebody posted, who did Kevin Owens piss off? All these different things. Listen. Listen. Braun Strowman is the guy. I know you guys love Kevin Owens, and there's a lot of you out there that like Braun Strowman too. Braun Strowman's the guy. I want to go back in time, okay? Way back in the time in the Orsini time-traveling setup here, when Finn Balor had to do the job to Kane and everyone shit at chicken because Kane was just leaving anyway and they needed a monster for Braun to face, yada, yada, yada. Okay, same scenario here. It's copy and paste. Kevin Owens is going to be okay, folks. That's what happens when you're talented. When you're talented and you have the ability to overcome, you become a very useful piece. You become a very useful player in the game. Okay? Do you really believe if they thought nothing of Kevin Owens, they would put him in the ring to get squashed by Braun Strowman? It's actually the reverse. It's the opposite. Okay? They believe in Kevin Owens. That's why he's in that spot. Look at that package that played before this matchup. Big frog splash off the ladder, choke slam off the cage, choke slam off all kinds of stuff. All right, he's been big bump. He has been bumping his ass off. The shoulder tackle spots, for Christ's sake. Okay? Kevin Owens has been working his ass off to make Braun Strowman look like a monster among men. And you know who wins at the end of that? Literally everyone. Braun gets over. They have a new power piece in play. He's already proved his loyalty to management. He'll be on the docket when it comes to Universal's out. Trust me, all this stuff's going to pay off. Oh, he got a squash match at SummerSlam. Who gives a shit? He was on SummerSlam, dude. I'm sure when he looks back on it, he won't be that fond of it. But you know what Kevin Owens was doing 3 years ago? He was beating John Cena. Yeah, you remember that? The NXT champion defeating the United States champion. Kevin has had his moment in the sun. This is his time now. Give a little of it back. He'll be fine, guys. Fine. That's what happens when you're talented. When you have the ability to do your job. You get off on things like that. The next matchup, triple threat match for the WWE Smackdown Women's Championship. There is not much that needs to be said about this match aside from heel turn. Becky Lynch turning heel after Charlotte Flair wins the championship. Although a lot of people are online, well, Charlotte doesn't need the belt. No one needs the belt. It's all about positioning and all about making the most money, and Charlotte is money. I know a lot of you thought Carmella was money. She's not. Charlotte is money. And this feud will be money. A heel Becky against a babyface Charlotte. I'm super excited. And glad. I'm happy for Becky. Finally a focal point. That promo she shot on Tuesday, dope. Super good. Super good. Speaking of super good, following contest is for the WWE Championship. Samoa Joe won the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. However, he defeated AJ Styles by disqualification. The big DQ. So no championship for Samoa Joe, but a victory. And we continue on. This fight was great. This was storytelling. And I got to talk about this real quick. I know I'm running short on time, but I've got to talk about this. I'm so sick and fucking tired. Okay? I've seen a bunch of these online. There was one in particular that I saw. They said, well, you know, AJ Styles has been champion for almost a year, and he's had no memorable matches. How sad. How sad. Are you fucking serious? You know, I was thinking about this when the match was over, because the SummerSlam was on Sunday, right? And, of course, I told you guys I did a bunch of water park shit during my vacation. I'm in the lazy river, and I start contemplating. And when I contemplate wrestling. And I think I figured this whole puzzle out. I think I figured it out. Because you know what? Ever since AJ Styles' title reign has began, pretty much this title reign, he has just been shit on by so many people. They're watering it down. They're holding him back. Why would they cuff AJ Styles? He could go out there and have the match of the century if they would just let him. If they would just let him? Are you fucking insane? Listen, I figured this out. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong here. I think people have been so conditioned to see AJ literally kill himself every fucking match that when he doesn't, it's a dud for whatever reason. If AJ Styles doesn't fucking die in this matchup, just kills himself, just obliterates himself, if he doesn't just murder himself, then it's a shitty match. Everybody was clamoring, okay, AJ and Shinsuke had this great New Japan match. Now we're going to go to the WWE. We're going to have a feud, a program, several matches. We're going to tell a story. This is going to be amazing. And everyone shit on it. Everyone shit on it. Nobody cared what the story was. Nothing. What they wanted was the New Japan match every pay-per-view. They wanted AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura to go out there and bludgeon each other and bloody each other up and bust each other's eyes open. That's what they wanted. Here's something that you guys need to understand. The New Japan match that you guys put so heavily on this pedestal, that's so way up there. And listen, I've seen the match. It's a great fucking match. Okay? But you know why that match was so great? They knew on paper they were only getting one. AJ was on his way out, and now, hindsight being 2020, now we all found out Shinsuke was also on his way out. They were only going to do one. So, go all out. Go balls out. Just fucking go, and whatever happens, happens. And that's how you got that great fucking matchup. Here, you're not going anywhere. This is the feud. This is the program. This is going to be the next few weeks. Now, I get it. Punches to the dick. May not have been the best storyline. Okay, but this whole theory that AJ hasn't had any memorable matches, he hasn't had memorable matches. Why? Because he hasn't murdered himself, so you didn't take the time to remember the matches? I can't. His style right now is adding years to his career. If he was to go on the WWE tour, the schedule that they have, and wrestle the way that he did at New Japan, he'd be fucking dead. He'd be in retirement like next week. You can't go that hard every single fucking night. You can do that shit with Ring of Honor because they wrestle every other week or maybe multiple times a week, but not to the level of WWE. Same thing with New Japan. They do a big show, every 2 months? Nigga, WWE does a big show every 2 days. You can't wrestle like that. Handcuffs? It's not handcuffs. It's smart. For all we know, the WWE wants him to do more. Go out there and fucking murder it. But it would be stupid to do that. That's how you break. Ask Daniel Bryan about that. Because Daniel Bryan wrestled, he didn't change a whole lot about his style. And look what happened to him. He broke down. AJ's been working his whole life to be the WWE champion. He's not doing any unnecessary shit. And for the big shows, he does. This matchup here with Samoa Joe was all storytelling. It's what he's been doing this entire time. The only difference is he was in there with a guy who was equally as good in every department. Samoa Joe tells a great story, and he wrestles a hell of a great way. Same thing with AJ Styles. It meshed. It worked. The inclusion of Wendy was nice, but not needed. We didn't need to see Wendy. Trust me, they were getting all the heat they needed. Adding her was nice. It generated more heat, but I think we could have waited a little longer for that. A little longer, if you really want to spread this out. But like I said, Samoa Joe wins by disqualification. The Miz and Daniel Bryan up next. That I said it before. I'll say it again. The match was either going to be really, really great or really, really bad, because these two guys I love the promos. The packages were great last Thursday. They had the 3-part series of putting this thing together. Love it. Creativity to the max. But I got to say it, and I got to say it. In the ring, these two guys do not have any fucking chemistry. None. And it showed. It showed. I knew the match was not going to live up to the hype. I knew the match was not going to live up. There are some people saying that it was the best match of the night. I'm not saying it was a bad match. I think it was a really good match. But the way that this match was hyped, I was expecting the greatest fucking match of all time. Like the greatest pure wrestling match. This is going to be great, man. This is going to take him to the ground to try to show his wrestling acumen and his wrestling superiority. But, of course, Daniel is the superior, so he counters and yada, yada, yada. It would have been crazy. I was expecting crazy. I really was. I feel like the New Japan fans when AJ and Shinsuke got announced for WrestleMania. I expected this big, great thing. It was good, but I was expecting a whole lot more. A whole lot more. Now we're leading to a mixed tag. Jesus Christ. Finn Balor and Baron Corbin, another one of our squash matches, 1:30. Not much talk about here except for the fact that I got pissed. When I heard the music and I was like, no, they're going to give us the demon, I was mad. Because I'm still pissed off about WrestleMania. That was the big stage. I wanted to see the demon on the big stage. I didn't want to see the fucking demon in Brooklyn. I've literally seen it. I have literally sat in those seats and seen the demon, Finn Balor, arrive in Brooklyn. I didn't need to see it at SummerSlam. I needed to see it at WrestleMania. And I'm going to this year's WrestleMania, so that shit better be on point. I need the demon. All right? Yeah, he beat Baron Corbin. Nobody gave a shit. But the demon's what everybody's talking about. God damn it. I need the demon at WrestleMania. No exceptions. Shinsuke Nakamura and Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. What can I say about this match other than Jeff Hardy needs to chill the fuck out? It is over. The glory days of you beating your body into powder, stop. I need multiple things from Jeff Hardy here. I grew up a Hardy mark to the core. Okay, but having said that, I need multiple things from Jeff Hardy. I need him to change that fucking theme music. And yes, I know, legal reasons. I don't know if they can bring the older one back. But I just need a different theme. I can't keep hearing this 1999 theme come from these guys and still be into it. I can't. I need a new theme. Secondly, that bump off the top rope to the apron. Knock that shit off, okay? You're Jeff Hardy, multiple-time world champion. You don't need to be taking those kinds of risks anymore. None. It didn't do a damn thing to enhance the match. The match was already in the trash. There was no need for you to go up there and just destroy yourself. Okay? I need multiple things from Jeff Hardy. Can we get a memo to this guy, please? Get a memo to this guy. Knock that shit off. The big bumps, we don't need them anymore. Stop. Let the young guys do that shit, man. Jesus Christ. Secondly, about this matchup, I'm going to say this. And a lot of you are not going to fucking like it. But it's uncensored mind here. This is what's on my mind. Shinsuke Nakamura needs to get the fuck out of the WWE. I'm sorry. It's not helping his legacy at all being here. These fans don't get it. They don't get it. I'm sorry. They don't. They don't understand him. They don't get him. If it wasn't for the music, I don't know if he'd get a fucking reaction. I'm just being honest. Because that strong style shit that he does, the knees and the hits and all that other shit, nobody fucking responds to it. None. In NXT, he was over like fucking over. They were following him all the way through. It was an easier match for him in NXT. It's a better fit. The main roster does not give two shits about Shinsuke Nakamura. They don't. I have seen these shows. I have heard people come to me from attending these shows telling me that whenever he does anything, it's fucking crickets. The only thing that people respond to is the fucking song. That's it. And to be honest with you, if that's all it's going to be, then he's wasting his time. Because according to him, it was always a dream to be in the WWE. He achieved it. It was always a dream of his to go to WrestleMania. You killed it. There'll never be another entrance better than yours at WrestleMania. There just won't be. Unless you decide to do something else. Because no one's topping what you did last year. But as far as your legacy, building a legacy, proving that you could be a success in the WWE, you are successful in the WWE, but I feel like the WWE is making you successful. I don't really feel like he is successful. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like the WWE Universe is still, even after all these years, trying to figure this fucking guy out. I hear it all the time from the WWE fans. What does he do? Aside from a knee strike and a roundhouse kick or whatever the fuck, what does he do? Why is he so popular? What is... They don't understand it. Heel version of Shinsuke probably gets more laughs than heat. I mean, with the exception of pure punches to the dick, I mean, what else has he really done? So I don't know. I respect Shinsuke Nakamura. I think he's one of the best performers I've ever personally seen. I dig his style, but I don't think the WWE Universe does. I really don't. There's 2 matches left here. Of course, Ronda Rousey defeating Alexa Bliss by submission for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. That was 4 minutes too long. Alexa, I don't know why, gave Ronda her worst match. I actually had high hopes for this one, considering Alexa Bliss's athleticism. But no go here. Ronda won with, I don't know what the fuck, on her face. It did not help at all. She looked so angry. It's funny because I think it was there as war paint, right? So it made her look more fierce. It made her look more angry. It intensified her face. The problem is it's paint. It doesn't come off that easy. So when she won and smiled, she still looked angry. She was like an angry happy, appy. She was an ampy. She was an ampy. She's an angry happy person. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. She's smiling. She's kissing her husband, but her eye makeup is making an angry face. It was like a constant face. I don't understand it. I don't see what's happening. Actually, at first, she looked like one of the Angry Birds. You know the big black blow-up one? Was it the one that blows up? I don't know which one it is. Like with a big black Angry Bird with his fucking feathers out like that. She looked like an angry-ass Angry Bird. That's what she looked like. And then they did the whole bendy arm thing. Whatevs. And then, of course, my main event. The main event everybody was talking about. Which I knew was what was going to happen. This is the real main event right here. Singles match for the WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defeats Brock Lesnar to become champion. The inclusion of Braun Strowman at the end of that. All great. All of it great. And a clean finish with Roman finally going over on Brock Lesnar. Winning the Universal Championship. Bringing it back to Raw full time. Dopeness all the way around. Good decision. Down to the inclusion. What I took from that, which was so great, is because I had this fear with Braun Strowman as the Money in the Bank holder that he was going to pull one of those bullshit moves where he cashes in on a date, a particular time and place. I will cash this in, and I'm going to fight you next week. That type of shit. So when Roman and Brock Lesnar were standing in the ring and Braun's music hit, I thought to myself, okay, this is going to turn it into a triple threat, and they will work this shit out, see what happens here. Now Roman doesn't have to take the fall, yada, 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 yada. But then he shoots the promo, and he says, points at Roman, he points at Brock Lesnar, and says, I got whoever's next. And he just goes to the side. And I was like, that's the smartest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. That's so smart. He's not going to make it a triple threat match. That would be dumb. We're going to attack each other? Fuck that. You attack each other. You fuck each other up. And then I get the fucking winner. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I loved it. I thought it was dope. I thought the whole inclusion, throwing the brief. I legit thought Lesnar threw the briefcase in the crowd. I was like, oh, that's gangster right there. But he didn't do that. He threw it up the ramp. So Roman Reigns is now the Universal Champion. Seth Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion. And Dean Ambrose has returned. So I said after SummerSlam, oh, looks like the Shield's back. And everyone looked at me like I was fucking crazy. Fast forward to Raw. Who's crazy now, motherfuckers? That's right. Still me. Because I was shocked as much as everybody was. The Shield was back, baby. Shield was back on Monday Night Raw. What killed me about Monday Night Raw and SmackDown was no call-ups. No call-ups. And I say kill me, but I don't really mean it negatively. I was actually very stunned. Very surprised. Very surprised that there were no cash-ins. Monday Night Raw gave us a lot of surprises, but none of which were of any value. moving forward. It was almost like these Raw and SmackDowns were, I guess they didn't have the feel because there wasn't really any returns or call-ups or anything. They felt like average shows, which is not bad. But coming off such a hot weekend, I don't know if people were digging average. I don't know. I know I wasn't. But anyway, yeah. So they've made a few matches so far. Hell in a Cell so far. Mixed tag. Brie Bella coming out of nowhere. The Bellas are back for some oddball reason. I guess they heard All Women's pay-per-view and they decided now was a good time to start politicking and getting in position for that. They already announced one match for WWE Evolution. This will air Thursday the 23rd. The tickets for Evolution go on sale tomorrow, the 24th. I will be buying tickets to Evolution. And they already announced that it's going to be Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus at Evolution. And they kind of gave a spoiler when you think about it. Because in the picture, when they announced it, Alexa Bliss was the women's champion. Now, if you remember correctly, when they announced this pay-per-view, part of the sell of this pay-per-view was that you were going to get a Raw championship match, a SmackDown championship match, and then an NXT championship match, and then the finals of the Mae Young Classic. But if Alexa Bliss was in the ring with Trish Stratus, would the title be on the line? My thought process would be no, she's retired. You wouldn't put the both on the line. So that told me, all right, well, then that means she's dropping the belt to Rousey at SummerSlam. And then we get to Monday, and Rousey's beating up Stephanie McMahon. So everything seems so far out of whack. We have the Women's Evolution pay-per-view coming up, and so far I have told you Trish Stratus, Stephanie McMahon, and the Bellas. That's what we're starting with as far as his Evolution pay-per-view goes. So we're not starting off on the right foot with that, is what we're saying. You're de-evolutionizing, if anything else. So, this was me giving you guys my thoughts on all that stuff. I don't really do prediction shows or post wrap-ups or whatever, but I decided to do a little bit of it here, because it's just what was on my mind. I'll get more serious about this shit in the next few weeks, baby. Daddy's home. Everything's good. Everyone is well. Now that we're back, we're stressing a little bit because, back to, as my wife put it earlier, back to reality. We're back to the real world, so we're going to figure that shit out. I didn't get a chance to mention it at the beginning of the show, so I will do it here. Thank you for listening to the show. Please continue to listen every week. ajoursin.podbean.com is where you can catch every episode. Traditionally, Wednesdays at 9. This week was a little bit of a boo-boo on my end, but it is every Wednesday at 9. If you cannot catch me on Podbean, I've got other platforms, folks. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Listen Notes, Castbox.fm. I'm all over the fucking place, guys. All over the place. Just search, literally Google Orsini's Uncensored Mind. I'm going to have to start saying that. That would be easier than naming all of these things all the time and annoying you people with it. Just Google my shit. And you will see that I am everywhere. I am all-encompassing. And you can find me by simply Googling. Look, I'm just Googling myself right now. Look at this. I'm on shit I didn't even know I was on. Look at this. Stitcher Radio, obviously. AJOU. Why is the Stitcher above my website? ajoursin.podbean.com. That's weird. I got the iTunes. Player.fm. I don't even know what that means, but I'm on it. Castbox, Listen Notes. I'm on Podchaser. What is this? I didn't even know this. Look at this. So I think I'm going to do that from now on. Just fucking Google it. Yo, my Twitter page. Oh, look at this. Dominating the Google. My pro wrestling tee shit is up. YouTube channel. You can catch me. What is this? Yo Oing. YOO. I've never Googled myself before, and I'm doing this shit live right now as we speak. Pick Bear. I'm on Pick Bear. What the fuck is Pick Bear? That sounds like a pedophile site. Let me check this out real quick. Hold on. I gotta Google myself more often here. pickbear.online/age. I have never signed up for this. I have no idea. Browse Instagram contact with Pick Bear. So Pick Bear. Okay, yeah. Now I'm noticing Pick Bear is taking information or pictures and shit from my Instagram. Holy shit. This is dangerous shit. I didn't even know I was on all these things. The fuck is Yo Oing? Let's click on this real quick. I was trying to end the show, but this is hilarious. What the fuck is this shit? Also from my Instagram. Yo, Instagram is dangerous. They just giving out my shit to all different platforms here. What is this? Oh, yeah, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Yeah, I'm all over the place. All over that stuff. What is this? What the fuck is RR Facebook? Yo, this is dangerous. I got my shit. This shit is written in Arabic. That can't be good. Yeah, assalamu alaikum and ham sandwich to you too, sir. Hold on, let me see. Open this up. We're live, baby. Hold on, I'm not gonna go anywhere just yet. What the fuck is this? This is the Facebook group page? Wait. I'm gonna X this out for a second because I'm confused. Okay, so there's a link here that says rr.facebook.com/groups and then like a bunch of numbers. And then when you click it, and this shit is in Arabic. Like the link is in Arabic. But then when you click it, it takes you to the actual Facebook page. This is crazy. It's craziness right now. And the match that I sponsored by Capital is here. Man, I have got to Google myself more often. This shit is crazy. Okay, I'm on the first 2 pages of Google, and then it starts getting weird. Page 3 here. So I guess we're done with that. So anyway, I'm going to do that from now on because it looks like all of my platforms. I'm going to start doing that. You can catch me on Google, man. Google my shit. Instead of sitting here naming platforms all the time, I'm just going to tell you to Google me. Seems a lot easier to do. Just Google me, brother. Seriously, though, thank you guys for listening to the show, man. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to let you guys go now because I have got to go to sleep. I'm dead tired. Plane ride early this morning. Came home, packed for my wife to leave in the morning. I gotta get up now. I gotta get her an Uber and make sure she gets on the plane. Oh, this is gonna be crazy. It's crazy. Next episode is episode 50. So I gotta do something special for 50. I got a few ideas. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing. And of course, thank you for enjoying Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one listening to this show. What shirt are you wearing? It doesn't matter. It's trash. It's a terrible shirt. You should tear it off right now and be ashamed of yourself. You need to go buy my shirt, AJ Orsini's shirt, the official Orsini's Uncensored Mind t-shirt. How can you get this shirt? I'm glad you asked, you big dummy. All you need to do is go to prowrestlingtees.com/AJOUM and buy the shirt. It's gray with a good logo on it. It's a beautiful thing. You need to buy it for yourself and your family and your friends. Stocking stuffers, under the tree. I don't care what you do. You can wash your car with it. You can use it as a bookmark. It's a dumb bookmark, but you can use it as a bookmark. I don't care what you do with it. If you're Spanish, you can tear it to pieces and clean your house with it like you always do with those other rags. Maybe you could update your stuff. I don't care what you do it for. Buy the shirt. prowrestlingtees.com/AJOUM.
At my house. Listen to my daddy so. Orsini is mine.